What's up, y'all? Today I'm going to be talking about 5 great ways for you to be able to boost your credit score. So if that's something that you're interested in, be sure that you hang on tight. Hey y'all, my name is Tomy Boboy, your credit and personal finance coach. If this is your first time on my channel, I'd just like to say welcome. Typically on this channel, we're going to be talking about things related to credit and personal finance. So if you're interested in improving your credit and achieving financial freedom, then be sure you hit the subscribe button down below so you don't miss any of my future videos. Now let's go ahead and jump into the 5 ways to improve your credit score. Tip number 1 is adding missing accounts. You know, if you have an account that you have been paying for a long period of time and you're seeing that it's not showing up on your credit report, especially if this is an account that you've never missed payments on, maybe you've had it open for years, things like that, then you want to make sure it's added to your credit report. There's been a lot of times that I've seen people who they were in those type of scenarios, right? They had credit accounts that just weren't showing up on their credit report that they knew they had, but they never thought to get added onto their credit report. If that's a scenario for you, then you want to try to make sure that you speak with your creditor, that they actually report those accounts to the credit bureaus, as well as you want to reach out to the credit bureaus themselves and make sure that all your information is accurate. So things like your name, your date of birth, your social, even your address, all your personal information is showing accurate. That way it's matching up with the creditor that's trying to act that account. You know, they want, typically what happens is they're using systems that are linked together. And if the creditor's information isn't matching up with the credit bureaus, then they might just either not include that information, or I've seen times where they include information for somebody else in even your family that maybe has a name that's similar to yours. So for example, maybe if your name is, like for example, my name's Tommy. If I have a son and his name is Tommy Jr., then he might have accounts that are supposed to show on my credit report. They might end up showing on his credit report just because his name is similar, right? So there's issues like that. But guys, this is going to be one of your great ways for you to boost your credit score, just by you finding, for example, even like credit cards that aren't reporting, or you have like a mortgage that's not reporting, or auto loan, things like that. Accounts that have been open for long periods of time and that you haven't missed any type of payments on, or you've missed very little payments, then those are great accounts for you to get added on. Number 2, it's going to be disputing any type of errors that you have on your credit report. Now, if you have any type of things that are showing up incorrectly or negative accounts, I always recommend you try to dispute those accounts, because just by getting those removed, you can easily boost your score up a large amount depending on the type of account it is. Okay, so I would dispute those. Even the smaller accounts, you can dispute I typically work from the bigger or more recent accounts all the way down to the older accounts, just because the more recent accounts are going to be the ones that have the biggest impact on your score. But you can definitely just try to dispute all of them, even all of them at once if you want to do that. I actually shot a video that teaches you how to fix your credit step by step. I'll link that down below. I've also shot a video that teaches you about how to deal with specific accounts. So whether it's, I have a video for collection accounts, for medical collections, I got one for bankruptcies, repos, things like that. I'll link all of those down in the description below. That way you can check out those videos based off of whatever your situation is. And some of those videos even come with letters with them as well, so you'll have access to that. And I'm actually going to include my Facebook group down below as well, because in my Facebook group there's a lot of letters that I pretty much give out that you have access to. I just shoot you those letters through email, and you're able to take advantage of those letters. All you got to do is really plug and play. You add your information, and then you can just send those off to the creditors or credit bureaus, whoever you're trying to send those letters to. Number 3, you want to pay your credit cards by your report date, or it might be called a statement date. So for those of you guys who don't know what that is, basically a lot of people think that if they pay their credit cards before the due date, then they should see a rise in their credit score, right? Because you're paying down the utilization on your credit card. But what a lot of people don't know is that the day that the credit card company reports that to the credit bureaus or adds it to your credit report, it's not the due date. They actually do it on a statement date. So that's the date that they actually generate the statement for you to know exactly what your balance is and how much you got to pay. right? And typically what you can do is you can you can just reach out to your credit card company and ask them specifically what date it is. Sometimes it'll show on your actual bill, but you can reach out to them and figure out exactly what that date is, so you know exactly when you need to make sure that you're paying it off. Now, I know some people, what technique that has been used is let's say, for example, that I know that my statement date is on Friday, right? and I got paid on Wednesday. And this money for Wednesday is supposed to last me for 2 weeks, right? And what I would typically recommend some people do is you can actually use that money that you get on Wednesday, your paycheck, use it and pay off your credit card, the whole thing, right? And then what's going to happen is if you pay off your credit card, now on that statement date, the date that they report to the credit bureaus, it's going to show as your credit card is paid off. But what you can do is now all the bills that you got to pay, or all the little things you got to buy that following week, just buy it using your credit card. So as far as the credit bureaus are concerned, anytime someone looks at your credit report, they're going to see that you have no utilization showing on your credit cards, even though you might be in a situation where, let's say, either you're maxing it out or you have a high utilization on it. You're just paying it off before that statement date. So anytime anyone looks on your credit, they're seeing that you don't have anything on your credit cards. They don't know that, that following week you put all those expenses back on there. Okay, so that's just a little technique, a little tip. I've seen people use that technique and be able to drop their credit score easily 70 points, right? Or increase their credit score easily 70 points. They drop their utilization down to almost nothing by using that. Okay. Now, guys, if you're liking these tips so far, be sure you hit the like button down below so we can get this video out to as many people as possible. I'm trying to just impact as many people as we can with these videos. And by every time you like this video and you comment down below, that just helps YouTube know that they should send this out to more people. Now, the next tip is paying down your high balances. This is specifically referring to any type of cards that you have, like credit cards or store cards, pretty much any revolving credit. Okay, I always recommend that you pay down any of your high balances because that's what's going to hurt your credit utilization. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, credit utilization counts for 30% of your score. That comes out to 165 points. Okay, so you're either going to gain that 165 points or you're going to lose it for your FICO score. So I always recommend that you pay down your high balances. At least if you leverage this with the previous tip I gave you and paying down your high balances right before the statement date, then you should see your credit score is going to jump up a considerable amount. And the next tip, which kind of ties into those as well, is if you are having trouble paying down your credit card balances, which is that 30% of your score, another thing you can do is reach out to that credit card company and ask for a credit increase. What this does is this attacks the credit utilization issue from a different angle. Now, instead of you paying down your credit cards, let's say, for example, maybe you owe $10,000 in credit card, right? You have $10,000 in credit card debt. You might not be able to pay that off every month, right? So what you can do instead is you can try to get a credit card increase or a credit line increase. And what that'll mean is that'll lower your utilization, because now even though you're not able to bring your balance down, you've increased your limit. So now it's still lowering your credit utilization because you have more credit available to access. Now, I think that's the best alternative. Another alternative, if you can't do that, is getting access to more credit. Now, I do have actually a few other videos where I shoot about getting access to $5,000 credit lines. They're more of store cards. The benefit with those is you get it and you're not using it, right? So you're just adding it to your credit and you're not touching those store cards at all. Okay, so that's typically what I'd recommend to somebody is if you're not able to get your credit lines increased, then just adding additional credit is going to be able to help you to lower your utilization. So what I'll do is I'll link below to those other videos as well, so you can take a look at them and see if it fits your situation. I actually deep dive into who those cards are for and who they're not for, and the video is going to let you know exactly whether you're the person for that. Anyways, guys, those are the 5 great ways for you to be able to boost your credit score. If you enjoyed this video, be sure that you hit the like button down below and make sure you also subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our future videos. And again, guys, I will be posting down below a bunch of other videos that can help you with improving your credit. Things like dealing with collections accounts, dealing with medical collections, even letters that you want to send out to the debt collectors, as well as any type of bankruptcies, repos, things like that. So be sure you check that out in the description. And guys, that's going to be pretty much it for this video. I will see you at the next one.